September 13th. Every great movement of God can be traced to a kneeling figure. D.L. Moody. Dwight Lyman Moody was one of the greatest evangelists of the 19th century. He is said to have shaken 2 continents for Jesus, preaching thousands of sermons in hundreds of cities across the United States and England. He was well acquainted with the power and necessity of prayer. The following story is taken from the online blog Women of Christianity. After the Chicago fire, he, that is D.L. Moody, went to London to rest and to learn from the Bible scholars there. He had no intention of preaching. One Sunday morning, he was persuaded to preach in a church in London. Everything about the service dragged. He wished that he had never consented to preach. There was a woman in the city who had heard of Mr. Moody's work in America and had been asking God to send him to London. This woman was an invalid. Her sister was present at the church that Sunday morning. When the hearer reached home, she asked her sister to guess who had spoken for them that morning. She guessed one after another of those with whom her pastor was in the habit of exchanging, never guessing aright. Her sister said, "No, Mr. Moody from Chicago." The sick woman turned pale and said, "This is an answer to my prayer. If I had known that he was to be at our church, I should have eaten nothing this morning but waited on God in prayer. Leave me alone this afternoon. Do not let anyone come to see me. Do not send me anything to eat." All that afternoon, that woman gave herself to prayer. As Mr. Moody preached that night, he soon became conscious that there was a different atmosphere in the church. The powers of an unseen world seemed to fall upon him and his hearers. As he drew to a close, he felt impressed to give out an invitation. He asked for all who would accept Christ to rise. 400 or 500 people rose. He thought that they misunderstood him, and so he put the question several ways that there might be no mistake. But no, they had understood. May God raise up many kneeling figures from among us to release great movements of revival all across the world. Today's prayer. Lord Jesus, stir me to be a kneeling figure who will help usher in a great movement of God in this nation.